Hey guys, welcome to a tutorial on how to make levels for the dreaded Spectre game. So I've asked a few people now how they can contribute by basically making games. So at the moment there's no level editor in the engine whatsoever. So I'm using Blender to create my levels. So I'll basically run you through how to make a very simple level and how that's then being exported using my own level format. So let's add like a really simple thing. So the level itself can be very easy. So first what I normally do is create basically the general shape of the level. So in our case it's going to be something very simple. Maybe just like yeah, maybe it's like a room, basically two rooms separated by a door or something like that. So I've got one room here and oops, that's not what I want. So yeah, so my Blender skills are not excellent, but it does the job most of the time. So second room over there. So then we add a simple, basically a separation in the middle that consists of two separate walls. Let's see. Something like that. And the other side as well. That one. Okay, so that will be our wall right here. Like entry in the middle. And last we basically block up this little entrance here. Additional cube, will do the job. Okay, so this could basically be our level right here. So next thing to do, after you basically create like the general layout of your level, you then apply a texture to it. So I usually go Mesh, UV Unwrap, Smart UV Project, done. Then on this side I open up the AV editor. Then basically add some texture stuff to it. So basically open up the texture you normally use for this kind of stuff, which is this one here. Here we go. So then this thing here, you'd say UV project. And this thing here, then you basically go to coordinates AV, map, that thing over there. And that should then apply the texture to the level like so. So now what you've basically created is the basically the look of the level. But what we need to do now is also to add like collision boxes to it, so play actually walk on these surfaces, otherwise just basically fall straight through. So because like a portal engine, normally I basically create like a portal in between these things and basically separates these two regions. But for now, I'm basically going to skip that and cover that like a later video. So next thing to do is we need to assign, because the whole engine is basically evolved around basically rendering specific regions linked by portals. You need to somehow tell the basically tell the engine like which vertices belongs like which region. So to do so, we select like the mesh that constitutes like the entire level. Then we go to this thing here, and then we add like a new vertex group. Oh, we just need the one. And basically select all, because we only got like a single region, select all the faces, and basically click assign. So if we then basically select this group, they're all selected. So now this basically means we've got like a single region called group. If you're going to work with really big levels, you basically want to, you know, basically select basically one part belongs to like one region, and then to like a vertex group, then basically do the same for the other side of the map, and to like a different vertex group, and then basically like a portal in between them, and then tell the portal that basically these two regions are linked through this portal. But like I said, we'll basically cover that like a later video. Okay, so next we need to do then is to add the collision map to this. So we need to basically create convex regions. They can be of any shape, but it must be convex, otherwise the collision detection doesn't work properly. So in our case, we basically like two big convex regions, basically this big block here, and basically two separate balls. So what I normally do is I basically select the bits that belong to one, that basically constitute like one big convex object. So in this case, the entire floor plan. Then I duplicate it, Ctrl D, then separate it, and then I basically select that and basically move it to a separate layer. So just like I basically track what's part of the actual level, what's not. And do the same thing for this wall here. So select the vertices make up this edge, duplicate it, separate it, and oops, and I basically move this to a separate layer. And similarly here. So select the points that make up, not that one. The points make like this convex shape, Ctrl D, then press P, separate by selection, select it M, and move with layer. So what we've done then is got like one layer that is effectively the visual, layout, which is this, and the second layer will basically contain all the convex boxes that basically will be the obstacles. So just for clarity, basically make these actual shapes. So just add like all the missing faces. This one here, and lastly this one over here. And basically just for all of them. So basically move this into, oops. So add these. So just so you got all your shapes sorted. And lastly for this one as well. Let's see. Okay, so then you've got like your three boxes, 1, 2, 3, that make up like the basically all the bits the player can basically collide with. So now we need to basically make a connection between the regions. There's only one here, so they're basically like the vertex groups here, and then basically tell like which of these collection blocks belong to which regions. So to do so, you have to go to this little cube here, and at the very bottom there's a entry called custom properties. So here you say, oops, here you say add. Should really turn off Steam. Let's do it now. Let's get rid of this stuff. I am offline. Okay. So you go to custom properties, you add, and you basically call the first property link 0, and the property value is the name of the vertex group that this collision box belongs to. So in this case, this group. So if this were to be like two separate regions, then one obstacle can belong to like two or more regions, a base special link 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. But since we only define like a single region, here basically called group, we only need to define like a single, basically single link. Which one were? Let's say okay, so link 0 is group. So now we know that this particular obstacle belongs to this region. So do the same thing for these ones as well. So edit link 0 belongs to vertex group. And last for this one as well. Link 0 group. Okay. So that's all there's to it to create a very simple level. So now we've got this textured level here, and added to that is like a set, basically 3 collision boxes that basically make sure the player basically collides with them. So to test this, we then go to File, export, and I created my own script to basically export this like the portal level format of PLF, which is like the format I use for my game. So click that. Then we're gonna go to the levels and just call test. Test.plf export. So then if you go to this folder here and inspect what's inside. Oh no, sorry, I forgot to do one thing. So you need to basically, so every all these collision boxes, you need to basically rename them to collision. So the script knows that these are, oops, misspelled that. So it knows that these three are basically meant to be collision boxes. So let's export this again. Export here, test, export. Okay, good. Yes. Okay. So up here is basically some debug stuff. So it's got like a single mesh called cube, which corresponds to like this bit here. 3 collisions. So collision, collision 1, collision 2. Again, corresponds to like these ones we created here. Then first it defines like 3 collision boxes. So the first one it's got like 6 faces, and then basically defines basically what basically all the vertices and normal vectors that basically correspond to this thing. So it's important to check if things go. If basically you test a level and you find that you basically go through walls to double check if the normals are fine. So to select one of your collision boxes, press tab to go into edit mode. Let's basically join these two together. If you press N, then you can basically go into mesh display. There's like a little box for normals. You click it and bring this out to 1. And you can basically inspect to make sure the normals are all facing outwards, which this one's fine. This one's fine too. And this one's fine, that should be fine as well. So normally it goes wrong if you basically use like mirrors, or you basically do like crazy rotations, and sometimes these normals basically get a bit messed up. But in general, just like add cubes and transform, this should be alright. But now first check. So these are all the collision information. Then here we start with the actual level, so it basically tells you like which text to use, although I don't actually use one at the moment, but that's alright. Then it basically contains all the vertices. Then it displays like the normals and the triangles that the whole thing composes on, so there's a whole list of those. And lastly, it then tells us like which collisions looks like which region, which is down here. And that's basically comprises like the actual level information. So to test how this thing looks like, I should make a little viewer, I guess. But let's just run this in actual game. So we say to this, okay, load this new thing. It's called test. Run it, and here in the client you just go to game, the CPP, and again we basically say load test.plf. See what server's done compiling. Yep, that's running. So we do the same thing here. So we'll make a little viewer where you can actually go through the level without having to play it per se. Okay, so we load, and here we are. So here's a little level. So there's 2 walls. You can see they collide nicely. And also on the other side. And if we jump, we can basically stand on top of them and jump in between and fall in between them. So that's basically like a very simple way to make levels in using Blender. There's like more advanced options, of course. So like I said, it's basically the main item of the engine is to be able to create portals to connect different regions. But since the levels in this game are basically small enough, they don't actually warrant portals per se. but that will be like a item for like a future video. So hope this helps to make your own games, and if any questions, you know how to contact me. Thanks for watching.